guys, it's Nicole. Welcome back to Chronicles of a Crafter. So today I'm going to review some of the items that I picked up at Temu.com, Temu the app. They sent me a bunch of die cuts and stamps. So I'm just going to go ahead and try them all out and see if they work for me. I'm using my Sizzix Big Shot, which is one of the better of my 4 manual die cutting machines. So I'm just going to cut them through on both paper and cardstock just to see how well they work. Yeah, I think this should work out just fine, just the way I have it set up right here. These are the die cuts that I received from Temu. And I hope I'm saying it right. I don't know if it's Temu or Temu. I've heard it both ways. So anyway, these are the die cuts that I received. This one is a teapot with 2 teacups. This one has arrows on it on like a lamppost or something. These are circles. This is looks like a doorway. I don't know, maybe like a window with some shutters on it. Here's a little bicycle, right? Some, looks like beehives or something to that effect. Here's a doorway with some steps leading up to it. I'm very interested to see how that cuts out. Here is a little packet of bumblebee, honey, a beehive, yeah, some honeycomb. That's what this is. These are honeycombs, not beehives. It's a honeycomb pattern. So yeah, there's that. And then I have this really pretty like sunburst, which is like something that I would probably use as a card front or something like that. And here I have a full, like, this looks like a full scenery of like a bumblebee. Like, you know, there's foliage in here, all kinds of stuff really that you can cut out. Bumblebee wings. So I'm just going to play around with some of this stuff and see what I end up with. In addition to this die, it came with, or this is a separate package actually, of the cling or clear silicone stamps, right? They cling to your little stamping block. But when I look at it, it looks like that this might work out right here. This stamp with this large die, and even the wings, if you were to cut it out separately. There's also some foliage on here, so I went ahead and stamped that, which is this guy right here. So I stamped it. But in addition to just this die, if you weren't interested in getting the stamp set, you can definitely double cut these, right? So you can cut this foliage out and then cut out the leaves and everything that goes along with it very simply. Or you can cut out this bumblebee and then cut the wings out separately on a separate sheet of paper and then attach them together. So anything's possible. Let's just play with some stuff and see what we get. I'm gonna have to cut down my paper because the opening of my Sizzix Big Shot is about 6 inches, 6.25 inches. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna cut down my 8.5 by 11 paper to about 6, just so that it can fit into the die cutting machine. I'm gonna grab my large guillotine and somehow squeeze it onto my desk here. And we will cut out some paper. So again, the opening for the Sizzix is only about 6 inches, so I'm gonna lose about 2.5 inches off of here. But I'm not gonna throw this away. I'm gonna save this section right here for something else. All right, so this is what we're working with. I'm gonna try to cut as many of them out as possible on one sheet of paper. So, and I'm going to do both paper and cardstock. All right, so that's paper, that's cardstock. Let's do these teapots. Pretty interested in how these will turn out. And I'm just using the standard plate that comes with the Sizzix Big Shot. Nothing fancy, just whatever I have here. So I'm going to pop that on right there, make sure everything is on the paper, and then run it through and see what we get. So yeah guys, I hope y'all are having a super crafty day, because what else are you gonna do? Because crafting is so much fun. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna run it back the other way because I don't have enough room moving forward to crank it all the way through. And so far so good. Looks like it cut pretty much everything. Let me grab my little pokey tool here and let's poke out the teacup. The teacup has like these little daisies on here, so the pattern's really pretty. And whoa, just about everything came out of there. Okay, so yeah, I didn't separate the die because I'm gonna have so much mess to clean up when I'm done here. I didn't separate the die because I would more than likely just leave it just like this to cut it out. Okay, so it looks like it left behind just a few pieces, but yeah, this right here is still attached. Now you notice I ran it through twice. I ran it through forward, let it click, and then I ran it through the other way, and some of this did not cut through. So that's kind of like my biggest pet peeve with the die cut. Maybe it's the Sizzix. It's an older machine. I know there are some electric die cutting machines out there that have, one, a much larger opening, and then two, it you know, precision, like the blades in there, or the suction in there is a lot tighter and will take this through and cut it up really nicely. But I don't have one of those, although I'm thinking about getting one. Just for this specific reason right here. I don't like doing this. And I'm hoping that with a electric die cut, you know, a lot of these things would just fall right out with just running the die through the machine. So here's the teacup. This came out pretty good. Very little left behind. Very nice. I'm going to find a piece of paper to place that on so that you guys can see. And here is the other one. So there's that. Alright, let me grab a colored cardstock so you can see what it looks like. There's that one. And here's that one. And you can see where it didn't really cut up here at the top too much, but the rest of it is it cut perfectly fine, right? So yeah, you can totally do something like so, right? And yeah, I like it. I like this die a lot. So let's move on to the next die. Let's do, I'm so interested to see what this does. Oh, actually, I gotta cut this on to cardstock. So I'm gonna do another cut of this onto cardstock and see how well that works. You know what? That was cardstock. I need to cut it on paper. So let's cut it through on some paper and see how well that works. Now I'm curious because if cardstock was a problem, then paper may also be one, but we'll just see. So I'm just gonna run this through and see what we get. Okay, get it started, wait for the click, and then crank it back the other way. This is the tedious part, guys. Like, I do a lot of my die cutting off camera just because of that. Okay, so, okay, yes, it did work. Again, I'm thinking this section right here is not touching for whatever reason. Seeing that all of this is still attached, I'm going to run it through again. It could also be my plates that are probably raised or, you know, bowed in a certain spot, but let's just see. I'll even flip the plate over and see if that helps. Everything is still attached. Yeah, still this section right here did not cut through that well. So I'll flip my plate over in case it's bowed. Third time's a charm. Let's just see what we got. There's that click. Okay. If this doesn't work, I'm blaming it on the die. So, okay. Okay, so next I'm going to try the bicycle. The bicycle has a couple of little intricate details like hearts and butterflies. I'm not going to worry about those too much. I just really want to know if the bike cuts through. So, yeah, let's just run this through and see what we get. And, yeah, this right here is like the tedious part of die cutting. It's this cranking motion, but I didn't hear too much of a click on that one, did you? Yeah, it's not, I'm not really that happy about it. I hope it cuts. So I ran it through like 4 times, okay? So 2 forward and then 2 back. The hearts and the butterflies, they're right here, so they did cut through, right? And then for the most part, let's check on this bike. All the spokes are falling through, so that's a good sign. I'm gonna have so much mess to clean up when I'm done. Alright, and then I'm going to poke out the bike. Oh wow, it worked. The bicycle is a score. Alright, so that works out. All the pieces that should have been cut were cut. Maybe it's just my die cutting machine. Maybe I need to run it through 4 times, like 2 to the front, 2 to the back, and then go from there. But yeah, I like how that came out. Worked for me. And so the bicycle is a win. And here's the heart, the butterflies. So those are all scores. There's a little tiny butterfly. I don't know if I'll ever find these things on my desk again, but I'm putting them over there. Alright, so for the next one, and because the plate is only this big, let's see, it is 6 inches, 6 1/4, nope, it's 6 1/8 by almost 9, okay? So I don't know if all of this is going to fit on here. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I can smush some of this together. But I'm going to try to do several of these at the same time. For time's sake, everything is on the top and the bottom plate. They all fit inside the little window. So I have here the door with the stairs, the window with the shutters, the arrows, the bubbles, and the, what is that, a honeycomb? Yeah, sure, maybe. Alright, so let's just run this through and see what happens. I got it started. Yeah, for some reason it did not want to start up here near the top, so I had to slide everything down. And and get it cranking that way. And right now it's right at the edge, so there's that click, and I'm going to crank it back the other way, and hopefully everything is still in the frame of that little plastic window. Okay, goodness. All right. Alright, so I have here the door with the steps. The steps are right here. I'm assuming you do like a little bloop, 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 you know, fold that up. And the door cut out pretty good. All the little panes cut out of it. Here's the door itself. So that cut through, and these are the stairs that leads up to the door. You just have to like do that accordion fold on it. So yeah, that came out pretty good. And here is the window pane that goes with it. And I think there was a knob, that little knob right there also cut through pretty well. So this would go back in here when you glue it together. And where'd the stairs go? These are the little steps right here. Okay, so this is what the door looks like, and these are the little faux steps that go along with it. Okay, so yeah, I would say this is also a win. The door works. Here I have the window with shutters. And I'm not sure what part of this gets cut through. Okay, it looks like you lose all of that. And, okay. Oh, nice. Okay. So here is the window, right? The window frame. Get rid of that. And then here is the window itself. Nope, that's not it. I don't think this goes with it. It just doesn't show a spot for you to poke this out. Okay. Alright, that's sketchy. I don't know about that. But here's the window, what could be considered the glass. And I don't know what this is. This is like a flower basket, a window, like, you know, what do you call it? Like a window floral thingy. I don't know. It's like a window basket for flowers, basically, because here are the flowers, and I don't know how that's supposed to come out, but these are the flowers right here. They are definitely trapped on the paper because there's no bottom section that cut that out. So questionable how these supposed to come out. So we'll work on that for sure. Alright, let's move on to our arrows. These are the arrows here. They definitely separated from the die pretty well. Alright, looks like my honeycomb cut through pretty well. I'm just gonna poke it through all these little sections here. And here is my honeycomb, or my geometric pattern, whatever you want to call that. Here is the bubble pattern. Here is the actual bubble pattern. So the bubbles and the honeycomb both are scores. Okay, that's a win as well. Alright, unfortunately my arrows did not work out. The window is questionable when it comes to these little florals. This little flower pattern right here. It should somehow separate and be able to go into that window flower basket. or a flower pot. But yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that everything else is good. The door was good, and all of this worked out. So, all right, I'm just gonna slide that to the side. And finally, we're going to do this big guy right here, which I've already taken the liberty of stamping most of these onto paper, and then we're going to do the die cuts of them. So here's what I've stamped, okay, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open this up. So apparently, if you want to just rate the stamping itself, the stamps all work pretty good. Like, they're all pretty clear. There's really no, like, maybe the crown could use a little bit of refining when it comes to the stamp. But this I will have to take apart, so bear with me just a moment while I do that, because I need this giant bumblebee right here. And what I'll do is I'll place it on here. I have to cut my paper down. And I'll cut this section right here. And we'll use the giant bumblebee on this stamp. And I will cut the floral as well. So that would be this guy right here. And it's just a matter of lining it up, right? Because the stamp is already there. It already shows you like what you're looking for to cut out. So that works. Alright, I'm going to pop this down right on here. Readjust, and you can always use washi to hold your die in place if you're unsure as to where it goes or what it cuts or any of that. So yeah, just use some washi to hold it in place. I'll get that and put that on top of here. Now I can tell like there's a bow on my plates, but hopefully running it through the Sizzix, it should be fine. Alright, so yeah, it cuts straight through. I didn't have it line up appropriately around this stamp, and it is the exact same size of the stamp itself. So yeah, this works fine. I am going to attempt to cut this through. I am going to put a piece of washi on it because I don't want to lose it. Oops, sorry. Don't want to lose it again. So I'm just going to run it through and see what happens. And I am making a birthday card for a friend, so that's why I stamped happy birthday on there. But in any case, there is this little like book plate shape that will fit the word happy birthday right in there. So I'm going to give that a whirl. Let's see what happens. Alright, let me run it back the other way. Again, the butterfly does cut. It just, that first time, it just cut it wrong. So let's see what we get. Very nice. Not the butterfly. Did I say butterfly? I meant the bumblebee. The bumblebee die does cut. It cut it really well. I'm happy with it. If you want to like take these wings right here and then run it through with this pattern, you can. But yeah, I think that the bumblebee worked out. Okay, so let's recap. All right, I didn't do this full bumblebee set right here. I'll have to do that on my own at another time, but this is a lot to figure through. Let's recap really quickly. So the bumblebee pattern of die cuts works fairly well. I'm going to give this an A. It worked out really well. pretty much the ones that I did decide to cut through did work. So I'm going to say that yes, this works. The door, again, here is the actual door, and the steps that go along with it is also somewhere here on my desk. And yeah, so what you would do at this point is take these steps and you fold it once over this way, once over that way. It's just like in a little accordion to create some actual steps that lead up to the door. And I'm going to say that this is also a win because it worked. It cut and it works as it should. So here's my little stairs that lead up to this door, right? And yeah, I'm going to say this worked. That's a win. My bubbles, a win. My little geometric pattern or honeycomb, that's a win. The bicycle, definitely a win. What else did we cut through? Here's the bumblebee that I've stamped and die cut. That's a score. What else did I do? The window. Here's the window. Whoops. Okay. So the window worked. And except for the little florals that go underneath the window, here's the window flower pot. The teapot is a partial win because the teacups came out just about perfect on every try, both paper and cardstock. And but the sunburst is an epic fail. Okay, I'm gonna say that did not work out on both paper and cardstock. It was a no-go for me on that one. All right, so overall, I'm gonna give this whole project, like, you know, everything that I've received from Temu in this whole process, I'm gonna give it, let's give it a solid B-, just because, you know, maybe it's my Sizzix, maybe, you know, it could be the Sizzix. So what I'll do is try all of this again with my We Are Memory Keepers Evolution. I think it's a We Are Memory Keepers. Sure, let's say that. It looks like one anyway. It's the color of We Are Memory Keeper. But yeah, it's an evolution die cutting machine. I'll crank that through and see if that works. And if none of that works, because of the size of these dies, if none of that works, then I will definitely give this another test with an electric die cutting machine when I get one. Alright guys, I think I'm going to leave you right here because I've ran out of things to cut, like paper wise. So I will definitely talk to you guys in the next video. Don't forget to check out Temu, temu.com, Temu the app. And yeah, I may put a link for it down in the description box down below. And yeah, so thanks to each and every one of you for subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting, and hitting that thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the bell for notifications after you've subscribed to the channel, because it really does notify you whenever I post a new video. So yeah, I will definitely talk to you guys in the next video. Have a super crafty day and stay naturally curious. Alright guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye!